Hold on to your seats because what just went down is about to shake the entire hip-hop world to its core. Ma, and Camron just went OFF on Snoop Dogg Live, and the streets are still in absolute shock. Rumors have been swirling for months. Whispers in the industry about old rivalries, hidden receipts, and long-buried grudges. But nobody expected this level of chaos. The cameras caught every jaw-dropping moment. Ma stepping up with a glare that could cut steel. Camron firing back with lines so sharp they left the crowd gasping. And Snoop. Well, Snoop couldn't believe what was happening right in front of him. Social media is exploding with clips, memes, and reactions. Fans are taking sides. Debates are raging, and the rap community has officially erupted. Every word, every gesture, every stare has become instant viral content. People are replaying the moment over and over, trying to catch every subtle insult, every hidden jab, every shot fired. There are insiders whispering about leaked messages and secret recordings that just dropped this week, proving that this confrontation has been building for years. And the tension, it's far from over. The fallout from this encounter is about to ripple across the culture, shaking loyalties, dividing crews, and leaving fans desperate for the next explosive revelation. You will not want to blink, because the drama has just begun, and the story only gets hotter from here. The night started like any other. Bright lights, heavy bass, fans vibing, but no one expected the hurricane about to hit the stage. Ma stepped up first, his eyes scanning the room like he was sizing up an old rival. There was a tension in the air, a crackling energy that even the cameras couldn't fully capture. You could feel it through the screen, every fan holding their breath, every industry insider leaning closer. And then Camron appeared, the grin on his face hiding something far darker, far sharper than anyone could have predicted. The two legends didn't even hesitate. They were laser-focused. And all eyes shifted to the one man in the hot seat, Snoop Dogg. It started with subtle digs, quick jabs that sounded innocent if you weren't listening closely. But for anyone who's followed this saga, every word landed like a precision strike. Ma leaned in, and with that signature menacing tone, delivered lines that hinted at long-forgotten deals, hidden betrayals, and streets that were whispering truths the world wasn't ready to hear. Camron, never one to hold back, followed up with a rapid-fire barrage. Referencing moments from Snoop's past moments fans never expected to resurface. The crowd gasped. Phones went up. Clips were already being sent across Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And every fan base exploded in real time. But it wasn't just the words. It was the energy. Every stare, every smirk, every small movement screamed. This isn't a show to reckoning. Snoop tried to respond, tried to defend. But the combined weight of Mase's calculated precision and Camron's wild unpredictability left him on the ropes. You could see the disbelief in his eyes, the kind of disbelief only comes when legends are holding you accountable for things the public never knew existed. And then, the moment that made the internet melt. Ma paused, looked Snoop in the eye, and muttered the line that would break the internet before it even had a chance, bro. Mahomes would never. It was a punchline loaded with meaning, a shot at credibility, a way of saying, you're soft now, but we built this game. The crowd erupted. Clips went viral instantly. Fans started making memes, tagging every rapper from New York to the West Coast, debating who had the upper hand, and which bar would haunt the rap world for years to come. Social media didn't just react, they combusted. Twitter exploded with threads, analyzing every second, dissecting every pause, every glance, every nuance. Clips circulated with hashtags like #Mase vs Snoop, #Camron Chaos, #RapBeef225, trending in seconds. Reddit threads lit up with insiders claiming to have heard hidden recordings that added even more fuel to the fire. According to whispers, these weren't just casual jabs. There were references to past deals, unreleased tracks, and disputes over street credibility. Some claimed Snoop had tried to reach out privately days before the event. only for Ma$E and Camron to laugh it off behind closed doors. Fans started picking sides instantly. Some rooted for the veterans, others argued Snoop's legacy was unshakable. Hip-hop forums became war zones, with old-school heads reminiscing about the golden era, while younger fans dissected the lyrical precision, trying to catch every subliminal reference. And through it all, Snoop's reaction remained priceless, part shock, part frustration, part realization that this confrontation was far more personal than anyone imagined. But the story didn't stop there. Backstage sources revealed that Ma$E and Camron had prepared for weeks. Leaked messages surfaced showing discussions about strategy, timing, and exactly which moments to hit Snoop with. Every angle, every beat, every word had been calculated. This wasn't just a stage performance, it was a chess match. And Snoop found himself pinned at the center of the board. Industry insiders whispered about payback, loyalty, and respect, emphasizing that this incident could change alliances in the rap world forever. By the time the set ended, the crowd was in a frenzy. Some cheered, some booed, some recorded every second for posterity. Ma$E and Camron walked off like kings who had just reclaimed their territory, leaving Snoop in a whirlwind of reactions, both public and private. Fans speculated that diss tracks were coming, unreleased verses might surface, and the streets would be talking about this moment for months, if not years. And just when everyone thought the storm had passed, whispers of a leaked audio started circulating. People claimed it contained Snoop responding off-air. A response so sharp, so loaded, it promised that the battle was far from over. Social media users couldn't get enough, replaying every frame, every line, every glance. The tension was electric. The rap world was holding its breath. And one thing was clear: no one was walking away unscathed. As the night faded into memory, the clips kept circulating. The debates raged on, and the story spread like wildfire. Hip-hop fans were in shock, and insiders knew this was only the beginning. Ma$E and Camron had set the stage, but the fallout, the hidden truths, the buried receipts, and the next volley of lyrical warfare was about to hit. The question on everyone's mind: who would strike back first, and who would finally break under the weight of this legendary clash? One thing was certain: the rap world would never look at Ma$E, Camron, or Snoop the same way again. And the next chapter promised to be even more explosive. The fallout from that explosive night didn't just simmer, erupted into chaos. Within hours, fans dissected every frame, every word, and every pause. Clips of Mase's but deadly delivery were looped, slowed, and analyzed. Camron's relentless energy, his smirk and sneer, became GIFs shared across every platform. Hip-hop was no longer just music hit, was a battlefield. Everyone from Instagram commentators to hardcore rap blogs were debating, speculating, and choosing sides. But while the public was still catching their breath, the real storm was just beginning backstage. Insiders leaked that Snoop Dogg had been blindsided. Sources say he never expected Ma$E and Camron to coordinate such a surgical attack. Every line, every throwback reference, every subtle jab had been planned for weeks. The private messages between Ma$E and Camron revealed a level of strategizing no one outside the industry had seen. They dissected past events, old contracts, unreleased collaborations, and even street stories. Every detail was weaponized, and Snoop had walked right into the crossfire. Some say he laughed it off initially, but by the end of the night, it was clear the humiliation cut deep. Social media wasn't just reacting, it was erupting. Fans created countdowns, thread analyses, and reaction videos that quickly went viral. Reddit threads reached thousands of comments in minutes, dissecting each line, each expression, and each glance between the three legends. Clips of the infamous "Bro, Mahomes would never" line was being shared with commentary, memes, and fan edits, making it an instant cultural moment. Hip-hop TikTok creators turned it into challenges, trends, and viral discussions that spread across borders. The internet wasn't just talking new, was combusting. Meanwhile, the rap community itself was abuzz. Legends who had remained neutral started weighing in, sharing cryptic posts hinting at their allegiance. Rumors of behind-the-scenes tensions between Snoop and other West Coast artists began to swirl. Some insiders claimed that this public humiliation was also a message to a wider audience. Respect the streets. Honor your peers and never underestimate the masterminds of the rap game. The airwaves were buzzing with speculation. Was a response track coming? Would Snoop release unreleased bars to reclaim his throne? Or had Mase and Camron set the stage so perfectly that no one could touch them? Adding fuel to the fire, leaked audio surfaced of a private conversation allegedly between Snoop and close associates. While unverified, the content was explosive, revealing frustration, disappointment, and a hint of plotting. Fans and commentators alike went wild, debating the authenticity and dissecting every tone, pause, and inflection. The consensus: Snoop was rattled and the streets smelled blood. In the midst of this chaos, new layers of intrigue emerged. Rumors started circulating that Mase and Camron had tapped into previously unreleased archives of Snoop's collaborations in history, pulling lines and references that left fans gasping. One insider even claimed that an unreleased verse was whispered during the eventiverse, targeting loyalty, credibility, and long-forgotten betrayals. If true, it wasn't just a public takedown, it was a historical reckoning. Meanwhile, the fan reactions were unpredictable. Some praised Mase and Camron for holding it down, for exposing the cracks in Snoop's seemingly untouchable persona. Others rallied for Snoop, declaring him the undisputed king, claiming this was all theatrics and part of the showmanship hip-hop thrives on. Fan forums became battlefields, divided between New York loyalty and West Coast allegiance. Every comment section, every Instagram story, every live reaction seemed to amplify the tension, creating a feedback loop that kept the saga alive and growing. And as if the public spectacle wasn't enough, rumors of a private rematch began circulating. Some insiders claimed that Mase and Camron had set the stage for a full-scale lyrical war, multi-track confrontation that could span weeks, involving unreleased bars, collaborations, and public events designed to escalate the beef. Street-level narratives claimed alliances were being tested, old friendships questioned, and new rivalries ignited. The rap world wasn't just watching Yeet, was preparing for the next strike by the end of the week. Every streaming platform had clips of the showdown trending. Memes exploded, parodies flourished, and fan-made montages went viral. The energy wasn't dying down, it was intensifying. Hip-hop journalists scrambled to get exclusive insider details, with anonymous sources hinting that the real story extended beyond the stage. The real drama, they said, was behind closed doors, where egos, power, and legacy collided. Yet, through it all, Snoop's response remained a mystery. While he posted cryptic Instagram stories and shared vague messages about loyalty and respect, no direct response had dropped. Fans waited, speculated, and theorized what would Snoop's next move be. Would it be a diss track, a public statement, or a full-scale comeback performance? The anticipation alone was driving the narrative further, proving that in hip-hop, the story isn't just in the music hits, in the drama, the tension, and the unseen battles happening behind the spotlight. And just when everyone thought the saga might pause, whispers of a collaboration gone wrong, old receipts, and hidden messages hinted at yet another layer. Rumors claimed Mase had unearthed a forgotten line Snoop had delivered years ago, a line that contradicted his current image and was now being used as ammunition. Social media detectives started piecing together timelines, captions, and hidden meanings, turning the showdown into a multi-dimensional puzzle of celebrity, history, and street credibility. The crowd, both online and offline, was hanging on every revelation. Industry insiders hinted that once this chapter closed, it would set a precedent for how beefs were handled, how legends could be challenged, and how social media could amplify every nuance into a cultural earthquake. Mase and Camron weren't just defending respect, they were rewriting the rules. And Snoop, while still a legend, was facing a test the likes of which he had rarely encountered in his career. Fans knew that this wasn't over. The streets, the blogs, the live shows, and the studio sessions were all interconnected in this escalating drama. The showdown had sparked a chain reaction, leaving everyone asking the same burning question. How will Snoop respond, and will he reclaim his throne? Or has Mase and Camron's calculated strike changed the game forever? The tension reached a fever pitch as the streets waited for Snoop Dogg's reaction. Every post, every comment, every cryptic story was analyzed like a war strategy. Rumors swirled that Snoop had retreated into the studio, working tirelessly on a response track, while Mase and Camron laid low, letting their previous strikes speak volumes. The air was thick with anticipation. Fans on every platform speculated endlessly. Hashtags trended globally, and industry insiders whispered that the next move could either end the saga or escalate it into an all-out lyrical war. Sources claimed that behind closed doors, Snoop had gathered his closest collaborators, producers, songwriters, and even old allies to craft a response that would hit back at every jab from Mase and Camron. Allegedly, this wasn't just about pride. It was about legacy. Snoop, the undisputed West Coast legend, had been challenged publicly and could not allow his influence or credibility to waver. Every unreleased verse, every classic reference, every historical anecdote about his rise was now being weaponized to craft a response that could restore his dominance. Meanwhile, Mase and Camron remained confident, almost unbothered. Insider leaks suggested they had prepared for every possible countermove. From social media drops to subtle barbed references in interviews, they controlled the narrative, ensuring that Snoop's silence only amplified their victory. Fans dissected their past lines and gestures, noting the subtle digs that only true insiders would recognize. This wasn't just a diss, it was a chess game. A multi-layered strategy designed to humiliate, dominate, and rewrite hip-hop hierarchy. The streets were ablaze. Twitter exploded with reactions and viral clips of Mase.com, Precision, and Camron's relentless energy were being replayed hundreds of thousands of times. Fan accounts debated every detail, comparing each lyric to past beefs in hip-hop history. Analysts suggested this showdown was a textbook example of psychological warfare in the music industry. It wasn't just bars, it was body language, timing, and historical knowledge colliding in a public spectacle. Then came the leaks. Alleged snippets of Snoop's response track began circulating online, raw, unpolished, yet potent. Lines targeted every perceived slight, every historical reference Mase and Camron had thrown, and even called out former collaborators who had allegedly fueled tension behind the scenes. Fans dissected every word, every intonation, and every pause, debating whether Snoop had regained his crown or whether Mase and Camron's earlier strikes still held the advantage. The drama was palpable. The internet became a live battleground. Social media influencers weighed in, adding their own spin and analysis. Some sided with the New York duo, praising their strategic brilliance and lyrical precision. Others defended Snoop, celebrating his ability to turn silence into suspense and amplify anticipation for his eventual response. Every reaction, every commentary video, and every meme added layers to the narrative, pushing the saga beyond music and into full-blown cultural phenomenon territory. Industry insiders hinted that the real fireworks were yet to come. Rumors suggested that a joint live event or surprise track release could take the confrontation to unprecedented heights. Fans speculated endlessly. Would there be a direct collaboration with other East Coast legends? Could Snoop recruit West Coast heavyweights for a counterstrike? Would this escalate into a multi-track series of diss songs that would dominate charts and streaming platforms for weeks? Every scenario fueled more hype, more engagement, and more tension. Behind the scenes, old alliances were tested. Producers, managers, and even friends of the artists were caught in the crossfire. Some reports claimed minor conflicts between Snoop's team and collaborators who were loyal to Mase and Camron. These subtle tensions, while not public, added to the intensity. Making this more than a simple rap beef fit became a full-scale industry spectacle, with careers, reputations, and legacies hanging in the balance. The streets, both virtual and real, waited with bated breath. Fans created countdowns, reaction compilations, and predictive analyses. The beef had become a media frenzy, with coverage spanning blogs, podcasts, radio shows, and streaming platforms. Every word mattered, every clip mattered, and every move was scrutinized with almost obsessive intensity. The saga had transcended a single event. It had become a cultural milestone in modern hip-hop, proving that lyrical warfare was alive, strategic, and devastatingly effective. The narrative tension was at an all-time high. Would Snoop reclaim dominance with a masterful response? Could Ma and Camron maintain their edge, proving that even legends could be humbled with precision and strategy? Every insider hinted that the next move, whether a track, live performance, or a viral drop, would not just resolve this feud, it could redefine the rules of engagement in hip-hop. By the end, the message was clear. This was more than a confrontation, it was a chess match of culture, legacy, and influence. Fans were left electrified, hanging on every rumor, every leak, and every possibility. The stage was set for the next explosive chapter. And the streets knew one thing for sure. In hip-hop, power isn't just about bars, it's about timing, strategy, and the ability to control the narrative. And this saga had proven that to the fullest extent.